Hello and welcome to today's podcast. We are sponsored by Royalty Roofing, your experts in roofing for commercial and residential projects. My name is Mel Scaturo. I'm the Business Development Manager here at Royalty Roofing. And today's guest is Lisa Lackovic, and she is the architectural representative with Endicott Clay Products, but we know you as
The Brick Chick.
the Brick Chick. Welcome, Lisa. Thank you for coming by. I really
Thanks for
appreciate it.
inviting me.
Well, I had asked Lisa for a few topics, but the special topic I wanted to talk about, and I know you're very passionate about, is multi-generations in the workplace. So when I hear that, are you meaning like just my office, but you really mean everywhere? Like when I go to a customer, contractors I work with, the whole shebang.
Yes. It all started where I used to work. All of us were baby boomers.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't hiring the next generation, which is Gen X. And of course, we didn't have any Gen Ys. Those were all our children. And I kept saying, we need to get some fresh blood. We need some new ideas. And there was this struggle with, we don't need any new ideas. We don't need any young whippersnappers, ankle biters, whatever name they were calling them. And I was like, are you kidding me? They'll help us sell material because our customers were getting younger. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up hiring someone who was of the Gen X generation. And so boomers are born 1946 to 1946 to 1964.
Okay.
The next generation is born 1965 to 1980. So do the math on those ages.
Well, and that's so strange. First of all, I think the gaps that they have to create these different generations.
Yes.
Like I'm a baby boomer. I'm at the end of the baby boomers. I just told you my age. So
yeah, you're a late boomer.
I'm a late boomer.
Yeah, because we weren't marching against Vietnam, and we weren't going to Beatles concerts.
No.
But our generation were building big houses and coddling our children and giving them more than we got when we were growing up. And we were growing up in a time of affluence where it was money, money, money. Mm-hmm. And the Xers also saw a lot of divorce from their parents' generation, the boomers. So Xers were kind of tainted, and they were also a lot of latchkey kids. Mm-hmm. So they would go home from school with a key around their neck, unlock the door, feed the dog, take hamburger out of the freezer, do their homework, and then their parents would come home.
Yeah.
And so they became very independent and just kind of free agents. I want to be a Gen X because what I love about them is they're very direct and to the point. They don't mess around. Tell me what you want done. Don't tell me how you want it done. Don't micromanage me.
That sounds like you.
I know it does. No, it does. And I mean, they're just all about, if there's a screen they can't get into in the computer system at work, they'll be like, what's going on? Why can't I access this? What are you hiding? They're really big on transparency.
Yeah.
So we hire a Gen X, and he just ruffled feathers all over the place. I mean, he would go straight to the boss if he had an issue, where baby boomers would kind of put up and shut up or have...
Well, or you go to your supervisor, or you go up the ladder.
Chain of command.
Yes.
We believed in that. And Xers broke all the rules. And then they kind of invented remote working.
Yes.
They were like, why do I have to come into the office? And why do I have to work between 8 and 5? Mm-hmm. And, why do we have to fit into this box? I work better at midnight.
Yeah.
Than I do at 3 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And, they were just kind of bucking the system. Most of them a lot of them became entrepreneurs. They became freelance. They're the ones that started like Facebook.
Yeah.
And Instagram and Google and eBay. All those were Gen Xers that said there's got to be a better way to do all this.
Right. And you guys don't have it, so I'm going to just take care of it myself.
Yeah. So the Ys are next. Mm-hmm. And that's who you and I are typically calling on right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, they may not be the owners of the company, but they're the employees. And so they were born 1981 to 2000. So the youngest is 25.
Right.
But the oldest is whatever that 1981 is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in their 40s now. They've turned 40. They own homes. They have children. So we cannot pick on Gen Y and millennials are one and the same. We cannot pick on them anymore. They were the ones that we were always kicking around going entitled, coddled,
Oh, yeah.
and they would go into work and expect a computer, their own office, a cell phone, a company car, and a 401k. They would expect it.
And lots of money.
Because the parents taught them that.
Yes.
That's our
You should,
fault. The
yeah,
boomers.
you should have this. And instead of, you got to work hard, you got to, your time will come. And they're like, no, I mean, I want it now.
I want it now.
Yeah.
And they're getting through it. They're the biggest generation. So the Xers are finding Ys being their boss because they are the largest. And then we've got the Zs. And that was a whole new, I've been giving this presentation for 10 years and Zs weren't even around. So Zs were born after 2000. They're coming to work. They're getting started. Here's what the latest, by the way, after Z is alpha, which means beta,
Oh no,
but we haven't got there yet. At least my research hasn't. But Zs are struggling with communication. They are the COVID kids.
Oh.
They didn't get prom. They didn't get homecoming. They didn't get graduation. They got screwed.
They did.
So they sat in their bedroom on their laptop trying to remote learn. And what they didn't learn is how to communicate. They don't know how to pick up the phone. They don't know how to argue their point.
Yeah.
Or ask for the sale, or just ask a question about business.
That social eye contact thing, it's a little bit more difficult.
Absolutely nonverbal communication, because they were always the ones with the camera off.
Yeah, because they're
Right?
sitting in their jammies or whatever.
Yeah, or eating.
Yeah.
And they also didn't ask questions because it was always so awkward when 4 people talked at once on our Zoom calls. So they didn't ask. So they didn't learn.
That makes sense.
There are companies that are literally training Gen Z in communication skills. We were taught nonverbal skills,
Yes.
remember? Don't sit with your arms like this and make eye contact. We were taught nonverbal.
Strong handshakes.
Yes.
Yes.
They're being taught verbal skills. Isn't that crazy?
It is very crazy. It is very crazy. And we jumped right into this because I was so excited about that topic. You didn't give me any bio information. I was like going, I forgot to do this part for you.
Oh, well, let's talk about that. I love talking about my past.
Well, you have a great bio here, by the way. And either I can read it, but I think you just sharing about, Lisa. Who's Lisa? Tell me about Lisa.
Well, apparently I love working for family businesses. So that's where I started at Watkins. And I just had a blast. I wore so many hats. I was marketing, I was advertising, I was sales. But I also said, you know what? We need a retreat, and we need a strategic planning meeting. And I was doing, I was so excited to work there. Well, what I did is I burned myself out.
Oh.
And I didn't have one title, I had too many. So I was jack of all trades, master of none.
Yep.
However, before I left, I did the Ultimate Backyard Challenge.
I saw that.
Which we teamed 10 contractors against each other, gave them discounts on material. They competed with a homeowner, who was on board.
Okay.
To just bling out their backyard.
I wish I was that homeowner.
Yeah, I wanted to call it Pimp My Yard, but decided the Ultimate Backyard Challenge.
That sounds good.
So the homeowner got discounts. The winner got a Ford F-250. And how we came up with that is, every contractor is proud of his truck. And we got it at a discount from Woodhouse, but we also got sponsors. It's just like every promotion's done.
Yep.
Every vendor that we had represented in the contest gave us money. We pulled the money, bought a truck, and I will never forget giving the keys to the first winner, because we did it, I think we did it 6 years or so.
Oh my God.
And I bawled. It was like having a baby,
Oh, I know. It was so exciting and such an awesome reward for all the hard work.
We had professional photography. We created television ads off these backyards. You can't sell a retaining wall. You have to show a retaining wall.
Right.
You can't sell a paver. You have to show the color, the style, the beauty, and being used. Someone walking on it or eating a family meal in their backyard. Anyway.
Furniture on it.
Yes,
Yes.
and we kind of changed the game and created kind of the hardscape headquarters. And it was so fun, and they are still doing great in that, and they actually rep my product. So I left on good terms, and that's why they're willing to put in Endicott's product there.
Right.
Also, while I was there, I started Divas of the Dirt.
I love Divas of the Dirt. First of all, just the name alone. When we were looking through everything, one of the guys here goes, Divas of the Dirt. I'm like, oh, yes. I wish I played in dirt so I could be a diva of the dirt. But I don't. So what's Diva of the Dirt?
Well, it started out with 8 women landscape architects. And I noticed that in the landscape architecture industry, they're mostly women.
Yeah.
So I put them together for a luncheon, and they all knew each other from their school or from a job, or they used to work together. Well, then we grew it. And I had vendors come in and talk about their new product or talk about a way to, design and then it grew, and today we are 150.
Oh my gosh.
But we included designers, different than landscape architects, like Mulholland and Lanahaw has designers. And we included installers. There are women contractors. There are women excavators.
Yes.
There are brick chicks. And so we've, not just made it specific to one area. Like we have someone that represents lighting and one that represents outdoor furniture. Like it's
everything you need.
You get them in one room and the volume goes up. And we try to have things 3 or 4 times a year. We're all so busy.
Yeah.
Christmas, they're decorating. And then January, they're off. And then May is, Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and graduation. And then summer, they're I don't know what they're doing, probably planning. And then fall, they plant.
Right.
And it's like, gosh. So we do it the first week of December. We have a big shindig with a theme, and everybody shows up.
Do you still have meetings in between, or?
Yes, we will have. Well, we're having a pot party, which is we are learning how to make decorative planters.
Okay.
In pots, as in.
Yeah.
And so we call it our pot party.
I love
Some
that.
of the emails have bounced back.
Because it's like, you can't say that.
We are not having a pot party. We have fun with it. We have toured a craftware where they sell pottery. We have toured a lighting company.
Now, do you arrange all of these, or do you have a team?
Well, my partner in crime is my old coworker at Watkins, Laura.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know Laura.
Yeah, we're actually closer now that we don't work together, but we still play together, and it makes a really long-time friendship because we worked together 28 years. So, it's hard to say goodbye to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad we're still connected through the Divas. So those were my 2 things that I learned a lot from, left, the Ultimate Backyard Challenge to them, but I took Divas and trademarked it and still own it, so to speak.
Right.
Then I went to Pavestone for a couple years, and it was a lot of travel, and that was fun, and then it wasn't. And Endicott approached me and said, we need someone in Omaha who knows brick, knows architects, and knows Omaha.
And that's you.
It was like one of those God moments.
It was meant to be.
It really was.
Yeah.
I just had to let go of the family business. Watkins is my mom's maiden name.
Right.
I had to let go, and Pavestone was like I call it my rebound job.
Right.
My tweener. And then Endicott found me, and now I'm on year 13, and I have no intention of quitting, so if you want my job, you can't have it until I'm ready, and I don't know when that'll be.
Well, I mean, you've made such a mark in this town for that company. I mean, they have to be so happy that they reached out to you.
They are, and another big feather in my cap is we just hired a hardscape manager, a woman that happened to be a woman. She's going to sell pavers and this pathway aggregate, a new product for just walkways, trails, plazas. And they called me and said, who do you know?
Oh.
And it was a friend from Pavestone in Kansas City. And that's who I was with all day today.
Okay.
And what a compliment. Not only did they ask me, they hired my recommendation.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving a legacy, and you and I have talked about this. I have goosebumps right now. Is we want a job that we can make a difference.
Right.
And, I can sell brick all day, but where I've made a difference is, bringing in people like Brenda. And handshake anymore, I hug.
Yes.
Every architect I know,
Yep.
their spouse or their kids, or that they have a garden, or that they love country music, it's become my circle of friends. That I think really everything has become blurred from work and play.
Right.
And
Because the relationships are so strong. I mean, you and I have been around in Omaha for a while. So we have created these relationships. I have seen people grow up, get married, have kids.
Yes.
I started with them and this was their first job, and all of a sudden, they're a VP, and it's just fun to have that family where you can watch them grow as well.
It is.
And
you and I do a lot of mentoring, and it's not like we scream, "Let me mentor you."
No, they reach out to you.
They come to us, and it starts with a coffee, or it could be a happy hour, or it could be just lunch. And Crew set up, Commercial Women Real Estate set up a mentor program during COVID. And that's where I met Marissa. And she was struggling with COVID. She is a millennial.
Yeah.
And you could, I'm like, why did they pair us? Well, what she had asked for in her questionnaire was, I want to get out and meet people. I want to get involved in the community. I want to be well known in my industry. And they were like, get her to
Do
Lisa.
I have a person for you?
So she is now married. She is not a mother yet, but she has a dog. Almost the same thing.
Yeah.
She is a homeowner. She has switched jobs, and that took a little nudging. And so I feel good that, we might be or I'll speak for myself. I might be older than a lot of the people in our industry, but I love where I'm at, and I don't feel old. I feel smarter and more confident, and I am so grateful.
Yeah, and I'm just having a good time. I love what I do. I'm a people person, obviously, and this is just a good fit for me, as it is for you as well. So let's go back. So if on the multi-generation, we talked about how they approach us or how we approach them. And do you find that there's a specific generation that maybe at this time is struggling more than the other generations? I mean, honestly, I struggle at times. Just computer, it's not that I can't learn it, I just don't want to. I mean, when things go bad, it's like I just want to call somebody, or I go in the back and get one of the younger guys. It's like, can you come over and do this? So do you feel there's a generation that maybe is struggling more now than?
Well, it's certainly not boomers. I mean, technology is always going to be a challenge. It's not the Xers, because they will just move on to another job. They are dedicated people, are committed, but it's mostly to themselves and family. And if what they're doing does not align with their vision or goals, they will move on. So I don't worry about them. It took me forever to leave my job because I was hopelessly devoted.
Yes.
Ys, I think, are more in place than they used to be because they've aged and they have someone coming up under them. So Z, because of the communication skills. But guess who raised the Z? The X. So all those goals that they are in line with and all those dedication to family and self, that transferred over to Z.
Right.
So that means they're going to be moving around just as much job-wise, but it should also give them some confidence, because their parents didn't helicopter parent them. They said, go talk to the teacher, go talk to the coach, go talk to your boss, where baby boomers, some baby boomer parents literally went on interviews with their millennials. Or they called the coach and said, my kid's not getting enough playing time. Big mistake. The kid probably never played again. And the other thing is teachers. They would go to the teacher and say, Johnny needs an A. Johnny doesn't want to be.
You think boomers did that?
Yeah.
Maybe it was how I was raised, because whenever my kids got in trouble, they knew I would take the teacher's side. I mean, I just would. I was like, I know my kids. They can be a little bit,
so
naughty and silly and goofy.
It is where you're brought up
yes.
too. And you say something very important. Parents are very influential on how we all turn out,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
We can never take that away from who we are. Just because we're born in 1960 or whatever, or 1980, doesn't mean we have to act that way. Because I do act more like an ex.
Yeah.
But I was raised by a single father. So I didn't have him call the teacher. I didn't have him call the coach. I had to deal with a lot on my own as an independent child. So
Yeah. I never would have thought to go to my parents and say a whine or whatever and say, hey, the teacher gave me a bad grade and I don't think that's right.
I never remember my parents coming to any of my softball games.
No, I mean, my parents both worked. It was middle class parents,
Yeah.
and they both had jobs. And nope, would never dawn on me to. I would just do whatever. Yeah, I got in trouble. It was my fault. So there you have it.
So I would say these financially, I think it's been hard on the Ys, and this goes into affordable housing. You know, interest rates are high, apartments are
Outrageous.
$2,000 a month or whatever.
Outrageous.
And, you know, boomers aren't moving. We're improving, right? We've stayed in our houses, so they don't even have houses to buy to fix up.
No. Well, we can't afford to move. I mean, no. And I've already downsized before, you know, my kids even left the house. It's like, we don't need a big house. This is fine.
Yes.
So I'm just like, nope. We couldn't afford it even if we sold it. And no, we'll just fix up and change out stuff in the house we're in.
Exactly. And that's why we're in this cog in the wheel. They have nothing to buy and we have nothing to sell.
Yeah.
So there's apartments going up on every corner.
Oh, I know.
But it's really interesting, since we're on the generations, that they are putting in dog washers. They are putting in bike washers, like a room dedicated to washing your dog. The pool tables and ping pong tables have kind of gone out of style.
Right.
Like that doesn't.
Right.
But workout rooms have stepped it up, so you don't have to join a gym, and then they throw that in as a, you know, it's not as expensive because you don't have to join a gym. Pools on the roof, rooftop pool. That's the big thing. And a friend of mine lives.
I don't think I like it, but
I know. A friend of mine lives near Dundee in one of those new apartments, and asked me to come over. And it was Friday afternoon at 2:00, and the place was packed. I'm like,
where do you guys work?
Exactly. Why isn't anyone working? But you know, this flexible hour stuff is real, and you know, they just knocked off for the day.
That's nice. One of the other things that you had put on your list was the leadership styles between men and women, and how we use our strengths. So one of the things that we do here, and we just started it, was it this year? I think it was this year. We do a culture index.
Love it.
And I took the test, or you know how you do all the words, you choose the words and everything. And guess what? I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
In sales.
Is in sales.
You're
exactly.
a woo. Oh,
I'm
that's Gallup.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we are starting to try to make sure that we understand individual strengths. So what is your take on, you know, tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Well, the reason I studied men and women, because it seemed that more men were getting promoted and being recognized as leaders, or opinions were respected more. And this might be a little bit from, you know, my past.
Yes.
But it made me curious, like, what is wrong with a woman being in charge? And so there's a book called The Female Brain, and there's a book called The Male Brain. And it sounds boring, but it's not. They're funny. Their doctors wrote it, and they determined by PET scans, you know, pictures of the brain, that we are physically different in our brains. Examples: women have a larger hippocampus. I know, weird word, but that is memory.
Oh.
That's why we remember what we wore on New Year's Eve last year. It's why we remember our anniversary. It's why we hold grudges, because we remember.
We won't let it go.
Terrible that way. Poor. So guys are smaller and they just let it go.
Yeah.
They have, of course, we have estrogen. They have not only testosterone, but they have cortisol, and it makes them angry or physical. And I don't mean they should go around beating up people, But men will slam their fist or do something with their foot. They'll do, like, they don't even know they're doing it. But we have different hormones. We have different brain structures. Blood flow. This was funny that I kind of dumbed it down for my presentations. But women's brain is always going from the left to the right, right to the left. It's going. And so we're always juggling. We always have
multitasking.
Answering an email, talking on the phone,
writing your grocery list,
parking in the grocery lot to
pick up your groceries.
We just can't do one thing at once. Where men are very focused, and that to me is a strength. They do one thing, they do it well, and then they move on to the next. We just have to be all scatterbrained and doing this, and it's because we've got blood just going, and there's just kind of stays. They also have like a resting brain. They give it a rest. And I'm like, what does that mean? And it has something to do with the gray matter and white matter. And so this is why a guy can watch golf and literally sit for hours.
And fall asleep like that.
Yeah. They're resting. Their brain. They can watch baseball games. I struggle. Yeah. I like maybe the last inning.
Yeah.
And I like the fourth quarter of the football game. But hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They climb a tree. They dress in camouflage.
And then they wait.
They wait. You don't see very many. There are women hunters, but you don't see very many.
It's my husband fishing. He loves to go fishing.
I don't get it.
I can't. No. It's like, this is taking too long.
And they are at peace because that's how they are wired. And now, honestly, after reading both books, it was like marriage counseling. Like, I totally understood my husband a little bit better. And I stopped getting mad about some of this stuff. And I realized it's, we're just wired differently.
Yes.
And so I applied that to work. And women are great at consensus seeking. We're communicators. We're collaborators. Well, guess what? Men are total opposite. I'll just do it myself. Don't worry about it. I got it. This is how we're going to do it. And he presents it. And everyone goes, oh, what a great idea. Well, you may have come to the same idea, but you've asked, what do you think? Do you like this idea?
Yeah.
And how would you feel? Anyway, it makes us look weak and indecisive. And it makes them look really smart and knows his stuff. And it's like, that's not... We just operate differently.
We communicate different.
And I think men need to know that about women.
Yeah.
That we get people buy-in. We are relationship builders. And that's why all of us are so good at business development. And most of the general contractors in town have figured that out.
Absolutely.
They are hiring women like crazy.
I know.
Because
I love it.
We're we're like asking questions and listening to answers. We're building relationships, and men just kind of...
And we follow through, and we stay connected, So it's just, we know that this relationship we're building is going to be for the long haul. And so we make sure that we keep checking in with them. Everything okay? What can I do for you?
Oh, my God.
I'm always
so true.
Isn't it?
Yes. So men
How can I make you comfortable?
Right.
Yeah.
And men will walk in a room just because of the way they're wired, and they'll look at the chain of command. They'll try to figure out who in the room is in charge, who's running the show, who do I need to focus on. Where women walk in the room and we don't see this way. We see a circle of, hi, oh, I don't know her. I can't wait to...
she's standing over there by herself.
Yeah,
I'm going to go talk to her.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's okay, except in these books they talk about men presenting and a woman standing back as an observer, and she could read the room and figure out that they were not on target with what she could see the look down. They weren't connecting. They got three of them got in the car, the two guys and the observer, and they said, nailed it, high five, woo, and she was just stunned.
Did you not see? Did you not read the room?
Didn't. And I'm not saying all men are that way, but we just have a knack.
Yeah.
We also have eyes in the back of our head, right? That's that sixth sense.
Yeah.
And we have guts. Go with your gut, right? How many times did your mom say, just listen to your gut?
If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Yes. And so we have a little juju that's special to us. And I can name a ton of examples where I said it just doesn't feel right. I don't think we should go that direction. And it's just being heard is
Right.
important. You know, we have to learn how to dress
Yeah.
correctly so we're taken serious. We have to learn how to act or even speak, because sometimes when we talk, we ask a question.
Our voices go up all the time.
Yes, and it sounds like we're not sure of what we're
Right.
talking about. There's a lot of things that we need to adapt to if we want to, get to where we want to get. And I think you and I are where we want. But if I want to run a company, I'd have to study that stuff and be aware of how I'm being viewed.
Right. Nope, that makes complete sense. Let's see. So we talked about that, and we talked about the guys and the girls, and we talked about the divas. Okay, so I know you and I are very passionate about our organizations.
Oh, yeah.
And I know we both love Crew, and you have your divas. I have Natewick. No, you're not Natewick. So we have our organizations, and I feel like that is really where we have gathered strength from each other,
Absolutely.
collaboration, and I could not, when people come to us and ask, well, what would you recommend? I always say you need to get out and be part of organizations and not just go to them and attend, but you need to be involved. So you've been involved in several organizations.
Yes. Well, Crew is probably 15 years.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can pick up the phone and call any member and ask a question about a job or who's the owner, or who's the developer, who's the architect was really what I need to know, because they're the ones that typically pick my product. I love that group. But what I've learned, I did Habitat for Humanity in the very beginning, and I didn't know. And I'm like, okay, I'll serve on the board. And it was once a month from 6 to 8 at 24th and Ames. And I was like, what? I don't even know what I'm doing here, but I did it. And it turns out the people I met on that board, I'm still doing business with.
Yeah.
Rhonda DiStefano, who was with White's and now over at Emmanuel, she was on the board. Doug Bassan, who's with HDR, was on the board. John Blumenthal, I don't need an attorney, but he is a commercial real estate attorney. I could go on. Who's the R&R guy?
Mike Homa.
Mike Homa was on that board.
Yeah.
And I ended up chairing it.
Yes.
And so they look at me as a leader now. And so when we get together as past presidents or just past board members, because they still call on us for advice or surveys or whatever, it's like, hey, how are you doing? Like that was the best thing I ever agreed to do. And I think I did it like 7 years. And then you age off.
Right.
So now I'm in College Possible. Everybody knows what Habitat for Humanity is.
I do not know what College Possible is.
So I am big on the trades, right? We need bricklayers, we need roofers.
Right.
Let's put that out there.
Absolutely.
But there are kids in high school that want to go to college but don't know how to get there. Their parents didn't go to college. Nobody knows the paperwork to fill out, how to take the ACT. You can't just walk in and take it. You have to sign up for it. You really do need to take like a study class.
Right.
And then now you're applying for schools. That's a job. Then you have to apply for FAFSA, and that's a brain teaser. These kids don't know anything. So what College Possible does is put coaches. These are kids that have graduated from college and they're in a gap year. They're not in a job and they're not in college, but they are volunteering as AmeriCorps for College Possible. They picked College Possible. So we position them at South High School. That's one. We have 9 other schools. And they have meetings like after school and talk to them about, here's where you need to be. You need to be applying for schools. You need to maybe take the ACT again because you only scored this. I mean, my kids took it a couple times. Anyway, I just love that. And that's called peer-to-peer. Like if I went into that room and told them you need to take the ACT, they don't need another parent. No. What they need is a kid that made it through college. And
it's just a few years older than them.
And they listen to them. And it's very bilingual. There's all these schools have a lot of Hispanic, and a lot of our coaches are. So they really get each other. It's also the
Is it
generation.
usually just seniors or juniors? I mean, when do you start reaching out to them?
We do juniors and seniors, but
Okay.
seniors are more serious about it. Juniors are like, that's 2 years away.
Yeah.
But seniors are like, I'm so scared. Am I going to do this?
Yes.
I will say, COVID, we kept on it. We did what we could do virtually. But what we have noticed is many kids are choosing the trades now.
That's
They
good.
don't want to go to college, or because college was awful during COVID.
Yes.
And so a lot of kids even dropped out
Yeah, that's true.
and said, I'll go back when all this stupid stuff
Crap
is done.
yeah.
Yeah. So it starts a momentum. And Metro Community College is expanding. They're building out in Sarpy County. Southeast Community College is constantly under construction.
Oh, I know.
Iowa Western's doing great. So this is the new trend. Now, we still need doctors and lawyers.
Absolutely.
And
But
smart
we
people.
do have a gap, in the trades, that we should have been doing this several years back. We didn't see, or we didn't pay attention. I'm not sure what happened, but there's so many people that are retiring from the trades. There's just not enough in numbers to replace.
I know.
It's a small enough number. I mean, it takes a while to get up there. You have to put in your time. You have to take tests. It's not like you walk in and you're automatically a plumber or electrician. So those things take time, but we have a shortage.
Well, that's where we can come in. And when we decide we're done working, we can become trainers.
Yes.
Teachers. We can still stay partially working, but we have to share our knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just walk away with everything we know. We got to share it.
Right. I mean, don't hold on to it. Share that expertise that you have grown and nurtured, and pass it along.
And open doors.
Help people up.
For people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that I really do enjoy introducing people to people.
I do too.
And sending a resume. Not sure you're looking for anybody, but
Yep.
take a look at this amazing resume.
You're very good at that. I know that.
Well, it's worked sometimes, and sometimes it hasn't been a good fit.
Well,
but
I could just try.
yeah, and it's kind of up to them.
Yes.
After they get the job.
Yes.
Like, I
yes.
can't
I'm
do
not going to
anything
come and
else.
help you at the job. You
No,
have
no.
to do your thing.
Up to you. Yeah. So that's College Possible is where we started, and
Yeah.
that is made up of community leaders too that I really look forward to seeing.
Oh.
And so, even though volunteering may seem like something else I got to do, it's paid back dividends.
Oh,
To
absolutely.
know who I know from, just rolling up our sleeves and doing a cause that is changing.
No, wait. What did you
society.
say? Wait. Giving back will always give back to you.
Yeah.
So, and that's very true.
It is.
And you might not see it right away. And as you think about it, when something has happened, it's like, oh my gosh, I connected these people, or I was on a committee with them. I mean, it will always come back tenfold.
Amazing. I saw Kayla Meyer yesterday, and she's at Olson, and she's a landscape architect. But I volunteered with her on Girls Inc., Girls Night Out, and we had wine at every meeting.
Yeah.
And I got to know her. Not that we needed to have wine,
Yeah.
but that's what we remembered. When I saw her in her office yesterday, it wasn't a handshake, it was a hug. And how's the baby? And, it was just like, and that's because of the Girls Inc. event.
Right.
So if they hear anything from us today, it's volunteer, get out there.
Absolutely. I am 100%. My kids I probably drove them crazy because when they were in school, it was expected of the parents, but I love doing it so much. And we were up there at that school and the church all the time, volunteering to do whatever was needed. We were on a lot of committees. Right. And when my kids left, I missed it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got to find something else to do. I mean, I can't not volunteer.
Exactly. And you didn't want a plaque. And you didn't
Oh,
want
no.
a cake with your name on it. I never wanted anything back, but I got it back through the connections. And Habitat for Humanity keeps just knocking it out of the ballpark, doing things for the city.
Yep.
I'm
wonderful.
just so happy to see it thrive like it is.
Well, just to wrap things up, so I know you love to travel, so that'll be one of your answers. So what do you see going forward for Lisa and the Brick Chick and your divas, and just, I know you've got grandkids. I mean, what's going on? What's moving forward?
Oh my
with you?
God. I have 6 grandkids. And
Isn't it great?
Yeah, it is. But I will never be a babysitter. I mean, as in during the day.
Yeah.
And my kids didn't go to their grandparents during the day. But weekends, we go to the lake house.
Yep.
And it's sand and sun and boating, like a pontoon type boating, not a speed boating. It's so much fun to see them grow up, and it is their happy place. Every day, the 2-year-old says, well, he says wake instead of lake, but that's
He's ready to go.
I grew up in that same house. I mean, Dad made it bigger, but then Amy and Bobby grew up down there, our 2 kids, and now we have 6 grandkids that are growing up there. It'll just be handed down to the family forever. But I do believe that traveling is the only thing you buy that makes you richer.
There you go.
And so my friend Quinn, that I'm sure you'll get
And
on
your
this.
Fabulous 5.
Oh yeah, she's coming on this podcast. Anyway, so we have done Ireland, Greece, Spain and Portugal, London and France, and we leave Monday for Italy.
Oh my gosh.
2 weeks. She's talked me into 2 weeks. I was a 10-dayer, and she got me to 12, and now we're at 14. And we still like each other. But yes, it's see the world, man. See the world. Now, the Fab Five are my high school friends.
Yes.
And we love to see the world, but we're more United States.
Yeah.
And the last few trips are like Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Big Sky, Montana.
Yeah.
We went to Montreal, Canada, and it's one person plans it. You just show up at the airport.
I love that you guys kind of.
We do not tell each other.
No, it's all surprises.
We are
That's
all
crazy.
type A personalities. We are all kind of in our own families running the show. So when we get together, we notice that we're all trying to take charge. Well, when it's her turn, she plans it. Leave it alone. Don't try to change
So all
it.
you have to do is like take warm clothes. Think sun. I mean, those are the only clues you're going to get, so you know what to
It's a gift
pack.
basket. It's very much like what brides are doing. Will you
Oh
be my
my
bride? So
gosh.
something's dropped off at your work or home, and it has sunglasses or sunblock, or it'll have mittens, or it'll have a
Cowboy hat.
kerchief.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Like and you have to try to start guessing, but you only get it the week before because the Google machine has
will happen.
Yeah. So one year I took them to Alaska because I have a sister who lives in Juneau. And so a lot of us use those connections. Laura has a place in, her brother owns a place in Scottsdale. I mean, who doesn't love to go to Scottsdale?
Yeah.
We did Sonoma and all that. And so I'll get back to you on where we're going. That's we moved it to fall this year. Next year it could be in spring. Who knows?
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. I love our conversations. And of course, I'll probably see you next Wednesday on our tips group. And
No, I'll be in.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be in Italy.
I will be in Florence.
Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous.
Now I have an excused absence. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And I love you so.
It was so fun.
It was.